Tonight on Best Bits, Melquizel Costa brutalised Dan Ige. Oros Medic slimed Jeff Neal. And Sean Strickland submitted his application to ICE. And here we are again for another Best Bits. What a card, eh? What a card! What a slow burner card. I thought it was going to be a lot more action packed based on the matchups we had, but no, we did get quite a few stinky poo fights. A bit of a slow burner in general. Wasn't the worst card ever. It wasn't the worst card ever, but it was still a little bit like stop and starty, a little bit irritating. But we'll just get into it. So first fight was Carly Judice versus Juliana Miller. We had Judice to win this. I thought Judice, she's a unicorn. She's going to get a finish. She's going to be one of the few women that consistently gets finishes. She came close once or twice, just couldn't quite seem to get it done. But yeah, wins in the unanimous decision. Pretty damn good if you ask me. Footwork on point, hand speed on point, creativity really, really good. Seemed to slow down and start letting Juliana Miller get a bit of a comeback, get a bit of an in to the fight a couple of times. But yeah, at no point did I think she was in tremendous danger from Juliana Miller. Yeah, I do think Carly Judice is someone to keep an eye on. Even for someone who lost on Contender Series coming into the UFC, she seems to be doing a pretty good job bouncing back. So yeah, we're gonna be keeping a closer eye on Carly Judice. On to the next fight, we had Jordan Levitt versus Yadir Davale. We picked Yadir Davale. This was a fumble on my part, I suppose. I disregarded the physical advantages. I don't think Jordan Levitt's that good. In fact, this fight proved Jordan Levitt's not that good. He's moved down a weight class. He's absolutely huge. Long arms, physically just larger than everyone in this division now. And he still can't get a finish. And he still can't finish Yadir Davale. Absolutely trash, man. Absolutely trash. Hugging and humping on the cage, man. Embarrassing. Absolute embarrassment. Yeah, if it were down to me, I'd cut Levitt from the sport. How can you run away? How can you be running away in round 2 and 3 from Yadir Davale, who's like a munchkin next to you? So yeah, so he got spanked by Paddy the Baddy. And now he's gone to hide in the lower weight classes, which is fair enough. Whatever. That's how it goes, innit? So yeah, Jordan Levitt still trash. Still didn't even look good against Yadir Davale. Didn't even look good. Absolutely trash. On to the next one. It was Jean-Paul Lebosanyani versus Phil Rowe. We went with Jean-Paul Lebosanyani to get it done. We thought we'd get a submission. We thought we'd get a knockout. But we did say Phil Rowe fights the level. And Phil Rowe fights the level. It's the craziest thing. You put him in there with someone who's terrible. Phil Rowe looks terrible and he does terrible. You put him in there with someone who's good and you're like, oh, this guy's actually alright. This guy's alright. Wasn't enough. Lebosanyani managed to win a split decision. I didn't think it was as close as that. Although Phil Rowe did have some moments. I didn't think it was that close. I had JPL winning quite decisively, but then I'm also biased because I picked JPL to win. You know what? In the last round, when Phil Rowe was kind of coming to life a little bit more, I was rooting for Phil Rowe. I was like, you know what? Fuck the YouTube picks. Fuck the gambling. Fuck whatever money I've put on. I did well on the gambling. If you followed my bet, if you're one of the 7 people that watched the predictions video, you should be minted right now because I only got 2 wrong on this whole card, by the way. Okay, so if you didn't see that video, you're stupid. Unlucky. But yeah, JPL manages to get it done in a split decision over Phil Rowe. Not the most entertaining of fights. Phil Rowe almost had me rooting for him, man. He really did. Despite picking against him, despite betting against him, in that last round, Phil Rowe kind of had me like, come on now, Phil. We got to do something. Been in the UFC for a while now. We can't be going out like this. And you know what? He made it less stinky towards the end of the fight. But yeah, I don't think it should have been a split decision. I think that's a bit crazy. But the right man got the win. So we won't complain too much. And that was JPL, that's Jean-Paul Lebosoniani versus Phil Rowe. On to the next one, Pulahele Soriano versus Ramiz Brahimaj. Ramiz Brahimaj. I guess how they were pronounced it on commentary. I've always thought it was Brahimaj, but whatever. That's just how it be. Little slurp of the tea there. Apologies, everybody. Yeah, we picked Pulahele to win this one. We thought Pulahele would get it done by knockout, and there was a couple of moments where, both guys were rocking each other, to be fair. It was quite an entertaining scrap. Quite back and forth. Beat each other up pretty bad too. It was quite entertaining to watch. I thought Pulahele was going to get done by knockout again. I picked quite a few knockouts on this card. Let me just scroll back through the page. So I had Judice by knockout. I had Deval by knockout, and I had JPL by knockout. I think I went with in the end, just to keep it consistent. And we didn't get any of those. Didn't get any of those right. And then we had Pulahele Soriano knocking out Ramiz Brahimaj. What can I say? What can I say? It was a decent pick on my part. Pulahele, when it came down to it, man, he just bit down on the mouth guard and went to war. And that's what you need, man. That's what you need. It was actually rather entertaining. It was so was Phil Rowe though. So was JPL and Phil Rowe. Like, I had seen people complaining about the card, and I was like, it's only just started. I'm thinking, we're 4 fights into a 13-fight card, and you're complaining already. I mean, the fights haven't been that bad. Jordan Levitt and Yada Deval, a little bit of a stinker. Carly Judice versus Juliana Miller, that was alright. JPL versus Phil Rowe, that was alright as well. If you flipped halfway through and started listening to Phil Rowe, started supporting Phil Rowe, that was super entertaining. But yeah, Pulahele Soriano versus Ramiz Brahimaj was also pretty entertaining. We had Pulahele by knockout. I thought he'd get it done. There was a couple of moments where it looked like he was close, but he just couldn't seem to get it done. Definitely outmatched in the grappling, like I said he would be. But you know what? Just enough. He had just enough grappling to stay in the fight and get it to better positions and get to where he could thrive, where he could find success. He managed to guide the fight into those positions despite having the grappling disadvantage. Out-muscled Ramiz Brahimaj. Out-muscled him and didn't rely on the grappling skill, and it kind of paid off for him. But I would like to see more grappling work from Pulahele in the future, because honestly, it's a big weakness, and it will be exploited later on down the line. But the next fight, Jocelyn Edwards versus Nora Cornell. This was awful. Not the fight. Okay, we picked Jocelyn Edwards by knockout. Jocelyn Edwards won this fight by knockout. I know officially it says submission, rear naked choke. Okay, but this was the start of the most abysmal, the most disgusting refereeing calls I've seen in a long while. Nora Cornell may never fight again. I know she's fucking 36. We were making jokes about her being 40 in the prediction video. We were. It was a bit of a comedy. The ref was determined to see this girl die. The ref was determined to have Jocelyn Edwards beat Nora Cornell to death. Okay? First round. No. Was it the second round? I've forgotten. It was round 2. So after a decent back and forth round 1, we come into round 2. We're like 2 minutes in. Jocelyn Edwards finds a nice shot, and Nora Cornell starts to feel it a little bit. And then it comes to this exchange in the grappling where Jocelyn Edwards just kind of slams Nora Cornell down, and Nora Cornell lands funny on her arm and on her head as well, and she looks kind of dazed from it. And then Jocelyn Edwards just starts beating down, raining down shots on her, beating her, and there was 7 or 8 unanswered hard shots on defenseless Nora Cornell, whose arm was... It looked dislocated by the end of the fight. It looked like she'd fell on her arm and dislocated it. But in the position that she was in, she was laying on the dislocated arm. So she had no way of protecting herself or getting up from this position while she was kind of in this weird all fours with only one arm to defend but no way to base and get up because the other arm's pinned by herself because she can't fucking use it. It's broken. It's dislocated. I don't know exactly. So Jocelyn Edwards is doing what she's supposed to do. She's trying to finish the fight as quickly as possible. She's putting a beating on a defenseless Nora Cornell. And after several, coming close to 10 unanswered shots of the defenseless Nora Cornell getting her brains just pasted across the canvas, the referee decides to step a little closer but not stop the fight. So Jocelyn Edwards, realising that she's beating a woman to death in front of a live audience, looks up at the referee, stops hitting Nora Canol and goes, "What are you doing? Like, hands up, what are you doing? Stop this fight, it's over." And the ref's like, "No, carry on, carry on." So Jocelyn Edwards has time to look down, look back up and be like, "Are you for fucking real?" Before Nora Canol finally gains some sort of composure and starts trying to crawl out from under Jocelyn Edwards, forcing Jocelyn Edwards to take the rear naked choke and finish the fight. Nora Canol was out. She was out on the ground. Embarrassing referee work. I don't even know who the ref was for this one. I'm going to go look it up right now. Just bear with me a second. Just bear with me 1 second. Who was the referee for this fight? Does it tell me on Tapology? Does it tell me? Does it tell me who the referee was? Jacob, that was it. Jacob Montalvo. Jacob Montalvo, embarrassment. Get Jacob Montalvo. No more refereeing for you, buddy. Sack that bastard. Sack him. Absolute joke. Absolute embarrassment, mate. You shouldn't have a fucking job if you can't do it. Simple as that. Absolutely embarrassing. Nora Canol might never fight again. Maybe some brain damage in there. Definitely some shoulder damage in there. Far too many unanswered strikes from a vicious contender. That is Jocelyn Edwards. I can't wait to see what Jocelyn Edwards does with this now. Surely Jocelyn Edwards is top 5 now, right? At the ripe age of 30. Come on, Jocelyn Edwards. Let's get it done. But yeah, Jocelyn Edwards gets it done. Avenges the rematch. Shame it had to go down the way it did. That referee needs a slap, pretty much. That referee someone needs to go and have a stern word with him, because that shit can't be happening, man. This is a sport, not a fucking... It's like, you know what it was like? It was like he had money on it going to the third. He was like, "Fuck, gosh. I told everyone to bet on the third. I told everyone to bet on it going over 2.5. Oh, no." That's what it was like. That's genuinely what it was like. Moving on to the next fight. It was Alden Correa versus Louis Garul. I told everybody Louis Garul is fucking awful. Louis Garul continues to be absolutely awful. Cut this man from the sport. He doesn't belong here. Nothing but a stepping stone. Yeah. Alden Correa gets it done in a fight that I mean, you know what? He didn't even look good in the fight, to be honest with you. They both looked trash. Absolute trash, to be honest with you. They both looked fucking awful. This was quite a bad fight. This was quite a boring fight. Especially after Jocelyn Edwards puts on a performance like that. And then, these guys, they did scrap. They did go back and forth a little, but... Nah, man, it was a boring fight. It was a boring fight. And Louis Garul is absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. Cutting from the sport. I said this in the prediction video. He's never going to win this fight. Alden Correa actually, they should examine him as well, because he should have done far better. He should have knocked this guy out. He should have finished this guy. Louis Garul's trash. He's a can. But yeah, I guess even cans go to unanimous decisions sometimes. That's just how it be. I mean, before we carry on, because we're nearly done with the prelims, we've got 2 fights. I'll finish the prelims and then we'll just zip back real quick. So, Alibi Idris versus Ode Osborne. We picked Alibi Idris to beat Ode Osborne. Obviously, he gets it done pretty dominantly. To be honest with you, there wasn't a lot of moments where Ode Osborne looked like he was too dangerous. Obviously, out in the open in the center of the cage, that's when Ode Osborne's the best. He's fast hands, he's in and out, he's explosive. But Alibi just didn't let him. Just kept him on the fence. Kept heavy pressure on him the entire time. Smaller guy too. Just kept heavy pressure on him. Not dramatically smaller, but And yeah, Ode Osborne just didn't stand a chance. And so that's 5 in a row, 5 losses in a row, 4 losses in a row for Ode Osborne. Yeah, just not good, man. Just not good. Ode Osborne could go places. Ode Osborne could be good. It's just no grappling. No grappling whatsoever at all. If he doesn't chin you, then he's just, okay, well, we're grappling, I lose. You just see it on his face. He's just like, oh, we're grappling now. I guess I lose this fight. I'll stay safe and go for the next one. It's not good. It's not good. But we did Alibi. We picked Alibi to win this one. I think we said by submission. So we didn't get that, but we did get the decision victory. We did pick Alibi to win this one. So pretty happy with that one. And as you can tell, We did do particularly well on the picks. I know I already said this, but we did do fantastic on the picks. Next fight was Carlos Leal versus Chidian Jaquani. We picked Carlos Leal. Which means that we only got one fight wrong on the prelim. So that would make us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at the end of the prelim, we were 7-1 going into the main card. Pretty damn good. Next up was on the first fight on the main card was Miguel Pereira versus Zach Reese. We had Pereira. This was a bad fight. This was an embarrassing fight. This is the kind of fight where you kind of petition Tapology to scrub it from the thing. Oop, I'll be right back. 1 second. My apologies. I've returned. Sorry, I seem a little bit out of breath. Had to do a little bit of a run there. What can I say? Dog dad life, you know. If you've got pets, you know what I mean. That was the most cringe thing I've ever said. I'm so sorry for saying that. I'm so sorry I just called myself a dog dad. My wife's not even in the room. And it wasn't even cute. So, next up. I think we've done Michel Pereira versus Zach Reese. Look, Michel Pereira versus Zach Reese. I'll just go over it really quickly. Fucking boring. Actually a trash fight. Both guys were gassed 30 seconds into the first round. I don't know what was going on. I suppose they went to war with each other. They beat each other up a little bit, but it was sloppy. They were tired straight away, man. I don't understand how you can be so tired. You're professional athletes. We're professional athletes, aren't we? We're getting paid. I say we're getting paid decent money, but we're not really, are we, Dana? Unless we're over in the boxing side, unless we're in Zuffa boxing, you know, we don't get paid that much. So maybe that's why. But we picked Michel Pereira. I thought he'd be more explosive. I thought the victory would be more emphatic. I thought he'd take advantage of Zach Reese's inexperience. Not that Zach Reese is inexperienced, but Michel Pereira has like triple the fights that Zach Reese has. So you think that would add up to some sort of experience, you know, bonus, if that makes sense. But no, it didn't. Both guys were just fucking gassed and swinging like fucking just loopy, swinging, terrible punches. But yeah, it was. You know what? It was funny to laugh at. It was good to laugh at. On to the next one. Oh yeah, we picked Michel Pereira, so that's another one correct for us. Next up, Jacoby Smith versus Josiah Harrell. No, we picked Jacoby Smith to beat Josiah Harrell. I said in the prediction video, I don't even know who Josiah Harrell is. Like, maybe that's me being ignorant. Maybe I've not done the correct amount of research. And this card, by the way, was very poorly researched, even though I've done so well. I think the secret is just to do less research because I overthink it. But yeah, fucking Josiah Harrell. Okay, I didn't know who he was researching this card. Barely looked into him during the research for this card because I didn't do much of it, right? So I'm so glad I didn't need to. He was awful. He was awful. He got bonked. But yeah, he got absolutely bonked. Jacoby Smith bonked him. So yeah, it was good. It was good. Got him down on the ground, controlled the top position, put him out with I felt like it was the elbow, but I think on the second look, it was the follow-up strikes after the elbow, the ground and pound, that managed to finish him off. But yeah, Jacoby Smith getting it done by TKO. We did pick Jacoby Smith by TKO, but we picked a lot of TKOs on this card, didn't we? We picked a lot of TKOs. Because we had nearly every fight ended in TKO on the predictions for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why we did that. We had nearly. To be fair, most of these fights should have ended in TKOs. Like Carlos Leal rocked Chidian Jaquani multiple times. Idris Elibi Idris. I don't know why I keep saying his name backwards. Hado de Osborne hurt a few times. Alden Courier should have chinned Louis Garul, but I guess he's also trash, so that's how it goes. Jocelyn Edwards was forced to submit the opponent she just knocked out twice. You know? Puna Haley Soriano and Ramiz Brahimai. Decent back and forth fight. Either one of them could have been chinned. You know, that was one of those fights. But yeah, you know, it's a crazy one. Jocelyn Edwards being forced to submit the girls, that was a hard fight to watch, man. That was a hard finish to watch. But Jacoby Smith gets it done. Manages to win fight of the night. And aside from that Jocelyn Edwards knockout then submission, 2 victories in 1 fight, this fight was mostly decisions. And a lot of the time they weren't even super entertaining fights all the way through. But thank God for Jacoby Smith. Breathed a little bit of life into it. It was a bit of a boring first round. It was only a first round, but it was a little bit boring until Jacoby Smith started opening up a little bit more, and he got him straight out of there, so you can't complain too much. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. Next up, we had the only other fight I got wrong on the card, Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija. I thought Ante Delija was going to be better with the footwork, better with the hand speed. He was good at stopping the takedowns, so he was better than I thought he would be at keeping it standing. I thought he would struggle more to keep it standing, but he did great with that. I thought his footwork and his hand speed would really carry him in the stand-up, and it kept him in the fight. But Spivak's fast too, man. Spivak is fast too. Really is. He really is fast too. Good back and forth. I would have given round 1 to Sergey Spivak. Round 2 to Ante Delija. Then again, did Ante drop Spivak in the first round but not finish him? I can't remember off the top of my head. I feel like I'm confusing fights now. I can't think off the top of my head. But yeah, close fight. Close back and forth fight. I wanted Ante Delija to win. That's why I picked him. I said this in the prediction video. I wanted to see the love triangle, the drama triangle of Waldo Cortez Acosta, Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane. I suppose it'd be a love square, and Ante Delija. I thought that would have been interesting to see. But I guess we're not going to get that now because Ante Delija has been upset by Sergey Spivak. Very tragic, very sad to see. But you know what? We also like Sergey Spivak, and it was a decent little back and forth fight. They beat each other up. Actually, an entertaining fight at heavyweight. What? A fight at heavyweight where they beat the fuck out of each other and it still goes to a decision. This is pretty good. Delija definitely slowing down. Definitely slowing down in the third round. Not a good look. And that's probably why he lost the fight, to be honest with you, because it looked like he lost round 1 because he was a slow starter. In round 2, he kind of ran away with it and did quite a lot. Had Spivak hit multiple times. And then in round 3, it was like he'd spent it all. And because he didn't manage to get him out in round 2, that was it. And he was kind of gassed. Not fully gassed, but he didn't have enough to commit to try and get in another finish. But he was close in that second round. So you can kind of forgive it. But Sergey Spivak, man, stays in there, stays tough, manages to steal it, manages to walk away with a unanimous decision victory. I don't disagree. I think he won rounds 1 and 3. And Ante wins round 2. So yeah, I can see when I'm biased, okay? I know when I'm biased and when I'm thinking, but you know, that's the only other fight I got wrong on the card, okay? And now we get into 3 knockouts. So it's funny because I got 2 fights wrong on the card. I got the majority of my methods wrong with my predictions because I picked the majority of the card being knockouts and submissions, and then you get to the main card, the main event. So the main event, co-main, the feature, you know, whatever else. When we get to those fights where I was predicting them going to decisions, they all ended in knockouts. So it kind of flipped it the opposite way to what I was saying. But yeah, Melquizael Costa versus Dan Ige. We have Milky winning this one by knockout, nice and easy. Dan Ige, man, I was unfortunate. I think he ducked low. He ducked low to try and give a different look. He tried to kind of feint a takedown and kind of give him a different look for that. And Melquizael just spins and throws a spinning back kick and catches him right in the eye. And it looked pretty bad. I could see Ige having some lasting damage from a shot like that. Maybe broken orbital or something like that. It was a big shot. It even looked like after it landed, Dan Ige was crying. Not like I've been hit, please help. An involuntary, I've just been hit in the nose, my eyes are streaming. An involuntary, I've just been hit in the eye, my eyes are streaming. It was like one of those. It was like he got hit so hard without seeing it coming that it absolutely rocked his nervous system and it made his eyes water. I don't know if you spar, I don't know if you fight. Have you ever been hit in the nose without expecting it and your face just, your eyes just start streaming? No? Is it just me? It's just me and Danny Ige, I guess. Whatever. But yeah, it looked like one of those scenarios. He was out cold, man. It was good. It was vicious. Jumped on him too, and yeah, Danny Ige just didn't have a response. He just ate a few more shots before the ref finally jumped in there. But yeah, good. It was good. I mean, the refereeing, not good actually. The fights were good. These fights were good, but the refereeing was absolutely shocking on this card. Two times on this, I was actually angry. Viscerally angry, especially the Jocelyn Edwards fights. I'm not a fan of Nora Canol. If you watch the channel, you know I'm quite biased towards the French. I don't like French fighters. I don't particularly like the French, if we're being honest with you. I think they're quite rude. I like to see them get humbled. But I didn't want to see Nora Canol get murdered. I didn't want to see Nora Canol get her shoulder dislocated, and then while she's laying on her arm, defenseless, get her brains pasted across the canvas. I didn't want to see that, you know. As much as I don't like the French roster of fighters, didn't really want to see that, you know. Maybe I'm just soft. Maybe I've gone soft in my age, but I didn't really want to see that. But yeah, again, with this fight as well, Dan Ige was probably out from the spinning kick. I suppose you've got to kind of make sure of that. But I just feel like a little bit unnecessary again, just a tad unnecessary again, with how long the ref let it go on for. And you know, it's not Melquisel's fault. It's not on the fighter's fault. Like this next one. So we'll move on to the next fight. That was a performance of the night, by the way, for Milky, and we did have Milky winning this one by knockout. So that's pretty damn good for the Al picks. Oros Medic versus Geoff Neal. I said this one would go to a decision, but I did pick Oros Medic. I just thought he'd get it done. Geoff Neal, man. How do I describe Geoff Neal? He's another guy that just fights the level. And I don't think Oros Medic gave him a chance to even get into the fight, to be honest with you. Ran across, bonked him. And then, you know, the ref was reasonably timed to get in there with this one. But again, the ref jumps in slightly late. Ever so slightly late. Not a bad stoppage. It wasn't a bad stoppage. Ever so slightly late. And like wants to push Oros Medic out the way. Like all dramatically. Like get out the way and ruin his celebration. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? Why couldn't we be that eager to get in there and save Nora Canol's career? You know? And like the ref that jumped in, the Jacoby Smith, Josiah Harrell fight, the guy who jumped in, the ref that jumped in to stop that fight, left it far too late and then dove in like he was trying to fucking catch a bullet. You know? Jerked up, oh, I'll save you! Like, just be ready. Just be by the fighters and be ready. Why is the ref? This is why the refereeing was shocking. Why is the referee running from one side of the octagon to the other to stop a fight? Why is that happening? Why is the referee as far away from the action as physically possible? You're supposed to be refereeing a fight. No wonder they can't see eye pokes. No wonder they can't see fence grabs. No wonder they can't see groin shots. No wonder they're letting people get fucking murdered on the canvas. They're off in the fucking corner. Just la 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 la. La 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 la. I'm getting paid to stand around for 15 minutes if it goes that long. Oh, what are we doing? Go and ref the fight. But yeah, embarrassment. Honestly, if I was Paramount, if I was the UFC, I'd be investigating these refs. I know they don't like choose the refs. It's a commission or whatever. But if you could fucking... What was his name? Mario Yamasaki. If you can ban Mario Yamasaki, you can ban these other refs, man. Like... You know, you got rid of the fucking... You can do whatever you want. Let's not pretend. You can do whatever you like, okay? You don't even use USADA anymore. You switch to an organisation that's allegedly blatantly let people use steroids. Is the rumour I'm hearing. But yeah, embarrassment, absolute embarrassment. If I was Paramount, I'd be kicking doors down. I'd be using my Paramount money to like... What are these refs doing? Who's giving these referees licenses and sending them to our events? That's what. If I was Paramount, I'd be coming down like that, bro. I'd be coming down angry. Nonetheless, Oros Medic sleeps Geoff Neal, leaves him palms up, man. Fast as any, in a minute 19 seconds into the first round, sleeps him. Absolutely puts a number on him. It was like a 4-punch combination. They were trading. They were inside of the pocket. They were trading. Oros Medic. 4 punches, fast as lightning, body, head, body, head, some shit like that. It was like body, head. Absolutely starched Geoff Neal. Geoff Neal was like laying there like he was on a crucifix, man, staring up at the lights like, what happened? Absolutely pasted them, man, pasted them out. But yeah, very fun to watch. Shame for Geoff Neal, but not one of my favourite fighters, and we picked Oros Medic to win this one, so we'll take the W there. So congratulations to Oros Medic getting the win. On the, you know what? Everyone was saying, I seen on Twitter people were complaining that Medic and Geoff Neal were the co-main event, and he said that maybe Melquizel Costa and Dan Ige should be the co-main event over this fight, and then Medic comes out and does that. Like, no. Clearly belonged as the co-main event based on that performance. But yeah, it was good. It was a good fight. And now we're on to the last one, the main event. the main event. This video hasn't been as long as they normally are. We're missing like a whole 10 minutes. But it's really just me complaining about refereeing, and this whole video has just been me complaining about the refs, I guess. On a card where it went in my favour, so I don't know. Maybe MMA fans are just impossible to please. Nonetheless, main event time. Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. If you picked Anthony Hernandez to win this fight, you might have a problem. You might not know what you're talking about, I'll be honest with you. You might not know this sport. Yeah. Fluffy's good, man. Anthony Hernandez quickly becoming one of my favourite fighters despite this loss. Sean Strickland was already one of my favourite fighters despite his previous losses. Everyone makes fun of Sean Strickland for talking big and coming out there with a jab and a teep, but the onus is on the opponent to, you know, get in there and make it messy then, I guess, because that's how Sean Strickland fights. It's not like he doesn't put it on you. If he gets the opportunity, he'll hit you. And there we go, we see it. I've seen some delusional people talking about Sean Strickland doesn't get finishes. Well, he didn't finish DDP. Sorry, didn't finish Israel Adesanya. Sorry, my mistake. Sorry. Didn't get finishes on two world-class fighters. So Sean, he doesn't get finishes. What? What are we talking about, man? But yeah. Sean Strickland in control of the entire fight. At no point did he look like he was really out of his comfort zone. At no point did it look like he was really struggling to deal with Anthony Hernandez. And Anthony Hernandez just kind of looked like, yes, I can. It was a shame, really, because Anthony Hernandez got in there and then he saw the levels. Before he got knocked out, before he got finished, before the fight really even got going, I think it was about halfway through the first round, Anthony Hernandez was like, okay, this is a fight for my life. This is a skill level I have not come across yet. You could see it on his face. This is a level of armor I've not come across yet. Like, Anthony Hernandez should really get in better shape. Like, I know he's good, and I know, you know, he's called Fluffy for a reason because he's got a bit of fat on there. But that's why he lost this fight. Sean Strickland took advantage of the fact that he's got a soft body. He's got a soft, squidgy body. And Sean Strickland took advantage of that. The finishing sequence was set up with a knee to the body. You know? Hit him in the body with a knee. Anthony Hernandez just wilts against the fence. Literally just wilts straight away. Hunches over. Holding his arms tight to his sides. And just covering up. Like, not a good look at all. Not a good look at all. And then Strickland just holding his head and pulling it down into uppercuts over and over again. Going back to the body. Oh, it was a bit of a beatdown. It was like Sean Strickland was in there with an influencer, you know, like where he just beats up some dude who's trying to get a bit of clout, doing an interview with him or so. I'll do a sparring session with you, and Sean Strickland just beats them down. That's what it was like. That's genuinely what it was like by the time we got into the third round. But yeah, anyone who picked Anthony Hernandez is delusional, or they're Mexican and they were hopeful. I think is the only. That's the only excuse. If you picked Anthony Hernandez, you better be Mexican or of Mexican descent, and you are like praying for him to win. That's the only excuse for this kind of fucking fuckery, for this kind of nonsense to go down. But yeah, Sean Strickland gets it done. Lovely TKO. Anthony Hernandez needs to build some armour. He needs to get some muscles on them abs. He's looking flabbier than me. You know? Not that you would know that, but yeah. I've got a bit of an Anthony Hernandez build. So yeah, I could tell. I know his body's soft and squishy. Squishy and ripe for kneeing. But yeah. If you enjoyed this video, I don't know, subscribe for more. I did well on predictions, you know. I've had people subscribing to me like last night and today, based on the fact that my picks did well, but no one watched the pick video. 7 people watched the pick video. Ridiculous. Now people are subscribing like, oh, I'll watch in future. Come on, guys. Where were you? Why did you miss it? I nearly swept another card. Terrible. Until next time, keep your chin down and keep swinging. Peace and love. I'll see you around.